Two of the country's biggest gun sellers tightening their sales policies. Walmart, following a move by Dick's Sporting Goods, announcing that it will no longer sell guns to anyone under the age of 21. The news coming on the same day that President Trump encouraged lawmakers to take action, backing a Senate proposal expanding background checks on gun sales.
We're going to get this done in a bipartisan manner. I'm not even worried about 60 votes.
I think you underestimate the power of the gun lobby. So.
No, I'll tell you what. The reason I had lunch with the NRA on Sunday, I called them. I said, you got to come over. I said, fellas, we got to do something. And they do have great power. I agree with that. They have great power over you people. They have less power over me. I don't need it. What do I need? It takes so long to go to court, to get the due process procedures. I like taking the guns early, like in this crazy man's case that just took place in Florida. He had a lot of firearms. They saw everything. To go to court would have taken a long time. So you could do exactly what you're saying, but take the guns first, go through due process second.
Here's your quote, Jake.
So, you all heard that out of your own mouth. Now, this is 6 years old, right? 6 years old. So, here it is. You got somebody who is on his way back to the office again, okay? On his way back to the office again for another term, who actually told you this. Now, 6 years ago would have mean he was in office for 2 years already when he said this the first time, right? According to this is 6 years old. And when you look at like some of the other stuff, like these here, they all rated at 6 years old. And what I did was I just went in there and I typed, what he had said. Look at this, CNBC. President Donald Trump says take guns early, 6 years ago. Fox Business, which we was just watching, 6 years ago. The Huffington Post, 6 years ago. Bloomberg Television, 6 years ago. So he had already been in office for 2 years at the time when he said this, back when he was in office 4 years ago, over 4 years ago. The reason for why I'm pointing this out is because, like I told y'all, I'm going to be on buddy, man. I'm going to eat, sleep, breathe, and shit Donald Trump for the next 4 years. Because by the time this is all said and done, by the time I take my last breath on this earth, I've been and drove every point that I am attempting to make home. Now, let's go back. Seeing that we only played 1 minute, let's go back to the beginning. And I want to point out a couple of things. Real quick, I don't want this video to be too long, but I do want to make my point.
Two of the country's biggest gun sellers tightening their sales policies. Walmart, following a move by Dick's Sporting Goods, announcing that it will no longer sell guns to anyone under the age of 21. The news coming on the same day that President Trump encouraged lawmakers to take action, backing a Senate proposal.
So Dick's Sporting Goods is supposed to be out of business right now. Once again, I'm over here talking to you all about things that we could do as a people very silently and without violence, without, even drawing attention to yourself. Now, some people have caught on. If you notice how what happened over this last little Thanksgiving holiday, the stores were not real crowded. I didn't see Amazon and all these different delivery places juking and popping like that, and I live in an apartment complex, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't see no trucks out there on the road, deep like that, having stuff delivered to their door. So they can't hit you with the online thing with that. People just not buying stuff. They not. So people are partially doing it. But the minute Dick's Sporting Goods and all the rest of these other places, what she say, Walmart was another one, which I think they like sister parent companies or some old shit. They in bed with each other some kind of way, if I'm not mistaken. But anybody that's under 21, we're not selling you no firearm. Well, it's like, okay, we're not going to buy nothing out of here. Fuck buying firearms from y'all. We're not going to buy anything. And we're not going to stand in front of your store with picket signs. We're not going to be yelling through bullhorns and, having the police out there with riot gear on just in case somebody decide to get stupid. No, we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is the opposite. We're going to abandon Dick's Sporting Goods. There won't be one car in the parking lot. You know why? Because there won't be any need for any employees because nobody's going to shop there. It's okay to send your babies, right? Now, mind you, they start the brainwashing bullshit. The military shit is some brainwashing bullshit. Okay, it's some brainwashing bullshit. I'm sorry, man. I don't care who don't like it. It's the fucking truth. There's a reason for why they send the military to the high schools at 17 years old, and they try to convince your little boys and now your little girls to get into the ROTC program and all this other fucking bullshit at 17 years old. There's a reason for why they do that. It's okay to send your little babies off to war at 18 and get they shit blown completely the fuck back to the town they came from. But you can't sell them no firearm before they 21 years old at Dick's or Walmart. It's like the world, the chemicals they put in the food, the chemicals and the drugs and stuff that they put in the food and the drinks and all this other shit, it worked. What their intended purposes for these chemicals and these drugs that they put in the food, what the intended purpose was, it worked, man. Because there should be more people doing what it is that I'm talking about. But anyway, let's play a little bit more of this. Wow, Dick's Sporting Goods store went out of business right along with Walmart the minute they announced that. Isn't it funny how... Now, anyway, I'll hold that thought. Let's keep going, though.
Proposal expanding background checks on gun sales.
We're going to get this done in a bipartisan manner.
So now when you talk about expanding background checks on gun sales, what more do you want? You want a person's blood type? Like, what else are you going to be looking for? For anybody who's ever filled out those bullshit applications to buy firearms to begin with, you already know it's already like a fucking booklet to begin with. And from what I've been told, it's been expanded and updated and amended and shit over the years to where it's as long as it is now. From what I was told back in the day, it was a simple form. 1 page, you fill it out, sign, and that was it. Today, the shit look like some sort of resort booklet, like you finna fucking buy a timeshare or something, right? So it's like, well, what more information do you want if you plan on expanding background checks? What, you want the background checks of my parents too? What are you talking about, Mr. Orange Man?
I'm not even worried about 60 votes.
I think you underestimate the power of the gun lobby. So
No, I'll tell you what. The reason I had lunch with the NRA on Sunday, I called him. I said, you got to come over. I said, fellas, we got to do
Sales.
We're going to get this done in a bipartisan manner. I'm not even worried about 60
He had lunch with who?
votes.
I think you underestimate the power of the gun lobby. So
No, I'll tell you what. The reason I had lunch with the NRA on Sunday, I called him. I said, you got to come over. I said, fellas, we got to do something. And they
Did you hear that shit? Not only is he the way he describing his conversation, it sounds like they buddies. You had lunch with the NRA. One of the biggest scam artists, man. Like, let me give y'all some top ranking scam artist motherfuckers. The Salvation Army, the Red Cross, the motherfucking NRA are 3 of the top biggest scamming organizations in the entire world. And guess who's having lunch with him? Mr. Pumpkin Face. He gets to have fun lunch with his buddies. Come on over, guys. We've got to talk about this. I got a blunt rolled up and everything, man. We got to get to the bottom of this. Right? This is how he making it sound. You're having conversations and lunches and you playing golf. But when somebody like the Lone Wolf tell you, well, you know, they all friends. You do know they all in bed together. They play golf together and, you know, they fuck each other's cousins and all this other shit. I've been telling y'all this. You got other people that's been telling you this. How is that not a conflict of interest? Then he said, yeah, they do have a lot of power. I'll admit it. They got a lot of power over you all. What exactly does that mean? And what exact type of power are we talking about? It's called Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, people. It's as simple as that.
They have great power. I agree with that. They have great power over you people. They have less power over me. I don't need it. What do I need? It takes so long to go to court, to get the due process procedures. I like taking the guns early, like in this crazy man's case that just took place in Florida. He had a lot of firearms. They saw everything. To go.
Now you think about this. They take your firearms, they take your ammunition, all over some bogus bullshit about you're unfit, right? Now, let you in on a little secret. The law enforcement municipalities do not return ammunition of any kind, period, whatsoever. Period. They will not and they do not return live ammunition. They will not do it, period. So you think about all of the rounds and shit that a motherfucker then had, you know, that they may have stocked up, or, you know, their reloading kits and all that, because all of that is included in that, in the confiscation. Let's say you somebody who do reloads, you do hand loads and shit. They coming to take all of that, all of your powder, all of your primers, all of your empty shell casings, all of your gunpowder, the machine that you use to press the projectile down inside the shell casing to crimp it and the whole night. They coming to take all of that. They will back a U-Haul truck up if necessary. And this is no joke. It's the beauty of growing up in major cities like Chicago, and you get to see how the cops confiscate shit. And you don't get it back. Once they take these firearms from you, you're not getting them back. That's why they want to take them first. They don't want to give you a chance to do anything. This is who y'all voted for.
The court would have taken a long time. So you could do exactly what you're saying, but take the guns first, go through due process second.
So that's completely the opposite of being secure in your papers and all this other shit under the 4th or 5th Amendment, all that. That's the complete fucking opposite. That's literally what he's telling you. I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I ain't finna be saying too much. You know, if y'all don't get it, it's because, you know, people don't want to get it. I ain't finna go there, but just keep that in mind. He said, what? Now we gonna take the pew-pews first. We need those. There are more firearms in this country than people. We can't have that. But needless to say, man, it's the original Lone Wolf, man. As always, I'm out.